I remember having many memories of watching Happy Tree Friends on the television around 2006. Although it's absolutely bloody, gory, and disgusting, its bloody, gory, and disgusting content doesn't make any sense. It still felt like a bit of a nostalgia trip for me. Released in 1998 and made by Ken Navarro, Aubrey Ankrum, and Rode Montejo. My favorite character always has been Cuddles. Sorry, flaky and flippy fans, but Cuddles was my absolute favorite. The show ran 133 episodes and ran for 6 seasons. The show gave itself a TV series. Each episode of the show never really had a plot, really, but was still fun to watch due to the characters. My favorite episode was the episode of the show Double Whammy. Double Whammy was my favorite episode on just how brutal and fun it was. However, I did mention Double Whammy as well because of this one time I watched an episode because I was kind of bored, so I rewatched Happy Tree Friends on my computer. When I watched Double Whammy, I saw a pretty interesting sight. What I saw was the words Erica written on blood. Erica? I mentioned to myself, who the hell is Erica? I was pretty curious on whether Erica is a real person or not, but this was a mystery. This was a bit of a mystery. Whatever Erica was, she must have been a fan of the show, or maybe somebody who worked on the show. A few months passed. I decided to go somewhere to buy a Happy Tree Friends plush at some sort of store nearby. The store looked really old and really ugly. It's like some really disgusting mess. But I can certainly tell you that there is some interesting DVDs. These DVDs include home videos and even lost media related material. This was really getting odd. I went to the shelf unit where there was a lot of DVDs. This includes some Happy Tree Friend DVDs, and one of the Happy Tree Friend DVDs sparked my interest. Happy Tree Friends by Erica Shelley. I responded, Erica Shelley? So the blood written on the walls were based on Erica Shelley. After buying the DVD, I went back home to find a secret note at the left side of the case. This would say, this is an alternative version of Happy Tree Friends. A coincidence occurred when Ken Navarro did not know there was already Happy Tree Friends. My version was created in 1996, and it became lost because my studio became bankrupt. So a coincidence? I asked myself. Bullshit. How did Ken even know who you are? Really odd for something really different from the Happy Tree Friends created in 1999. Happy Tree Friends was a well-known show, and there was already a Happy Tree Friends created in 1996. It also appears this version was made in Canada, so I went ahead and popped the disc inside the DVD player, and like many other DVDs, it has a movie and a TV show trailers and commercials playing before the series. When the menu screen appeared, there was, for some strange reason, only 3 episodes of the menu screen. I hit the play button at the episode titled The Happy Hotel. This episode starts with a cartoon car passing by, and what was in the car were the characters. However, the problem is, these characters don't look like anything from the show. In fact, these characters were anthropomorphic animals. One of them was a cat. The other was a rabbit, and the last one was a beaver. The cat's name was James, the rabbit's name was Mason, and the beaver's name was Toothy? Toothy. I thought there was already a Toothy in the Happy Tree Friends. We pretty much know all. The oddest part of the series, the fact the characters spoke clear English. James told his friends, okay, we will be going to the gas station just a few miles away. Both of his friends would respond, okay. James's car would eventually break down, leaving the gang to walk to a hotel nearby. Well, at least they got snacks. They walk a couple of miles to a hotel called the Happy Hotel. James and his friends walk towards a forest and find the wooden hotel, and the scene lasts over 3 minutes. Thank God we are finally here. It's been nearly 40 minutes since we got here, guys. Mason responded. Then I get to see the Happy Hotel. It looked like that one hotel from Saudi Arabia known as Abrash Kudai. It was pretty much shiny and really nice looking. Then, when the next scene comes along, it starts with the hotel owner. The hotel owner's name was, well, Flippy. Flippy really wasn't liking the series. He actually looks outright more creepier in the fact that he had these odd snake eyes and an odd mouth that looked like a bear's snout. Please note he still had his military uniform on and still had a green color on him. He had some sort of deep and really odd voice. Sounded like John Marston from the games Red Dead Redemption and Red Dead Redemption 2. He introduced himself to some of the hotel guests and said, Well, hello folks. My name is Flippy, and today I will show you my hotel I made after the Vietnam War. May I have a little tour of my hotel? The guests would shout out, Yes! Flippy just didn't sound right. Not even his evil counterpart's voice didn't even sound like what his tone of voice was. The next scene cuts to the tour, and to be honest, the hotel looks very nice. The scene began with the lobby, and Flippy saying, These are the lobbies. You'll have to pay for your hotel room to go inside it. Flippy, who was really weird, seems like a pretty nice guy after all. The scene cuts to the rooms, and Flippy would say, These are your rooms. They have televisions inside. They have a television inside it, and I like to watch the show Splendid Adventures. This must have not been a coincidence. This may obviously seem like the fact that Happy Tree Friends we currently know was probably inspired by this. The next scene cuts to the diner, and let's be honest, the diner was probably my favorite part of the hotel. Nice, fresh, and delicious food. Flippy then would, after that, introduce the rest of the hotel. Let's be honest, this scene was better than that shitty NFT cartoon Cryptoland. The scene cuts to James, Mason, and Toothy going to their bedrooms to sleep. James watched a little football, and I heard a little something that seems to me that there was an argument next to James, Mason's, and Toothy's room. The argument, for some reason, lasted for at least somewhat a minute or so. They went to sleep, and cuts back to the morning hours. It cuts to James going down for breakfast, and yet again I hear another argument. However, I managed to hear a loud lumpy out of someone's mouth. Yup, this wasn't a coincidence. Ken must have at least remade his own version with silly dialogue and blood and guts. But then, again, it stops. However, the next scene cuts outside the breakfast room. The scene cuts to some hypnotized character feeling nauseated and for some reason passes out. Is he okay? Toothy said. Flippy notices, and I also heard the character's name is Mickey, that passes out at the breakfast room. He seems to be alive, but for some reason he passes out. Mickey was, well, a gray mouse, which probably nods to the Mickey Mouse cartoons. The scene would then cut to Flippy taking him to a room that looks like a hospital, where he could make him feel better, and meanwhile, after that, James, Mason, and Toothy walked towards Flippy and Jane, and James asked him, when's dinner? Flippy then responds with, it's around 6. Why? The scene cuts to James and Mason, who seems pretty suspicious of this hotel. But Toothy really enjoys it. After Mason takes his shower, he goes to buy a snack. After he does, he tells James that something feels pretty suspicious as well. I'm assuming around 4, James, Mason, and Toothy got ready for dinner. Yet again, an argument is heard throughout the next door. I wondered what's with these arguments throughout the episode, but I decided not to even worry about it anyway. The next scene cuts to the dining area. Here's where things get really, and I mean really odd. There were separate tables for different species, and they were never allowed to sit through different kinds of animals. To be honest, it's pretty damn racist if you ask me. It cuts to only James telling the other cats some jokes, and then he asks them why he got here in the first place. He said, my car broke down while on the way to store. They kept talking and talking, until all of a sudden, one of the beavers at Toothy's dinner sections, and which was next to the cat section, somebody went up the restrooms to vomit. I heard this character vomit so badly, it was pretty disgusting. The other beavers were confused on what even happened. Cuts back to James, and he doesn't really care. He kept joking around with his feline mates until this happens. James discovered something really disgusting. There was supposedly a finger inside his pie. He puts his fork down and gagged, except he throws up on the dinner table. There appeared to be an eyeball in it as well. It got gross until the next scene made me think, because it was one of the most horrendous, the most disturbing, the most fucked up thing I've literally saw on screen. It got so horrible and absolutely sick to the point I was beginning to gag and was even about to even throw up, because what it was apparently something crawling to the entrance at the cat section. It seemed to be a hallway, and it didn't zoom to there. The scene was still angled towards the dinner table, and what came crawling towards the entrance appeared to be a cat that looked somewhat like James, and that's because it was his twin brother. James ate his fucking twin brother. James mentioned it, and that's where I was about to puke. Twin brothers are like clones. They're like your alternative selves. And if you saw him get killed like he was, not knowing that you were eating him, that made me sick to my fucking stomach. This made me think it's absolutely horrendous and downright disgusting. His twin brother and his ears, eyes, arms, legs, and small portions of skin removed. His head faces towards James and tells him, You ate me, James. Flippy tortured me, and now you entered his sick trap. Now you know why I disappeared for weeks now. What got worse was, oh God, the fact that all of the other characters in the room and there began to recognize what they ate, their relatives and family members. They began screaming, panicking, and even sobbing. The screaming never stopped. It never did. Some of the hotel guests even threw up, and one even threw up at a tub. I stopped the episode, went to the bathroom to vomit. I was crying while vomiting, after thinking the fact I saw a character ate his twin brother. Oh God, that part made me utterly sick. I get it's just a cartoon, but it just makes absolutely think, what the fuck did I just watch? A few days later, I felt a little better after watching that episode. That was just utterly sick. I mean, it was a cartoon, but holy shit, what did I think of? This wasn't just even a comedic or boring death. This was worse than Wishy-Washy from the normal Happy Tree Friends show we all know today. Anyway, I did, however, gather some research and found this out. When I searched Happy Tree Friends 1996, what came to my results was there was a fact that a Happy Tree Friends series was made before the one that was made public. Made in 1996, it was about the somewhat gory adventures of three animals and encountered some really gruesome and dark stuff. The show was lost due to the company being bankrupt. The public show's creator, Ken Navarro, said he knew this Happy Tree Friends before and worked with Eric Shelley. He wanted to make his own Happy Tree Friends after that. The episode of this in question is, why did the creators have to make this into some sick gore show without any comedic value to it? Whose idea was to make the protagonist eat his twin brother. Oh God, this was really sick. I still watch Happy Tree Friends, and the rest of the 2 episodes of the Happy Tree Friends were much, much worse. I just never watched it.